This critical choice coming your way could mean the difference between keeping thousands in your pocket or losing it to penalties. Stick around, because I'll walk you through exactly what it is and what you can do about it. Welcome back, and if we haven't met, I'm Keith Demetriades, a financial advisor based out of Pampa, Texas. Today, we're talking about one of the biggest financial mistakes I see people make when they leave a job in their mid to late 50s. We're diving into something called the Age-55 rule, an opportunity that too many retirees miss, and how you can take advantage of this rule in your retirement. Before we get started, I've got a free guide called the 401k Strategy Guide linked in the description. Be sure to grab it. You'll want it as a follow-up to what we're talking about in this video. All right, now what exactly is this Age-55 rule, and why does it matter? It's a little known, entirely legal loophole in the IRS rules. Under the right circumstances, it lets you use money from your employer's retirement plan earlier than most people realize, without paying that extra 10% penalty. But here's the catch, and it's a big one. This isn't automatic. You not only have to meet certain conditions, you also have to know when to act. Not everyone does. The Age-55 rule only applies if 1. You separate from service in the calendar year you turn 55 or later. 2. Your balance stays in the retirement plan sponsored by the employer you just left, a 401k or a 403b if you worked for a nonprofit or a school. 3. You've actually left the job, whether that's retirement, a layoff, or moving on to another employer. And 4. The plan you're separating from is the one that qualifies. Old 401ks from past employers, they don't count unless you left those jobs after age 55. Now, speaking from personal experience, hitting your 50s means getting a lot of stuff you don't necessarily even want, like reading glasses and those dang AARP mailers. But it also comes with some benefits, and the Age-55 rule is one of them. Let me show you what I mean. Let's say you retire at 57 with $450,000 in your 401k, and you need about $60,000 a year to cover your living expenses until you reach 59 and a half. Over 2.5 years, that's $150,000 in withdrawals. No matter what, that money is going to be subject to income tax. We can't change that. But here's how the Age-55 can pay off for you. If you immediately roll the money into an IRA and withdraw from there, you'll be hit with that 10% penalty. But if you leave the money in your 401k, there's no penalty on those withdrawals. In this case, that 10% equals $15,000. Now that's not pocket change. It's enough to cover a year of healthcare premiums, home project, or even extra travel in those first years of retirement. And depending on your age and withdrawal amounts, you could save even more. Hit that thumbs up if you're all about keeping that hard-earned money. So why do so many people miss out? Well, first, this rule is buried in the IRS code. The primary message about 401ks is take money out before 59 and a half and you pay a 10% penalty. If you don't know how to dig deeper, and most people don't, you might not realize that there are exceptions. Second, the common thinking is that when you leave a job, you should roll your 401k into an IRA. This message is everywhere. You'll read it in articles about leaving your job, hear it on money podcasts, and see it in do-it-yourself retirement planning guides. What those sources don't mention is that advice is written for the general case, not for someone in their mid to late 50s. If you follow it without asking whether your age changes the rules, you're missing a big opportunity. An employer is not going to walk you through this. Their job is to process your paperwork, not walk you through every exception in the IRS code. The responsibility falls on you to understand your options. It's just one more example of why financial literacy is so critical and why I do these videos. Knowledge is power. Let's do a quick poll. Did you know about this exception before you watch this video? Leave me a comment. I'd like to see how often this actually gets missed. Now let's get down to the last thing you need to know. How to take advantage of the rule. Here's how I walk clients through it. And trust me, I've learned to keep this simple because we all know the IRS sure doesn't. The first question is simple. Do you need income before 59 and a half? If the answer is yes, that's your biggest reason to leave the money in your 401k. So start investigating. And by the way, if you need a better handle on your retirement income, you can take the free quiz linked in the video description. The second thing I always check is whether the plan even allows withdrawals after you separate. Some do, some don't. And the rules can be different. One plan might let you take flexible withdrawals, another might only allow lump sums. You need to know what your options really are. Next comes the trade-off. How does your employer's plan stack up in terms of fees and investment choices? If the plan is more expensive or limited, you have to weigh that against the penalty savings. Sometimes paying a little more in fees for a year or two is still a better deal than giving up 10% of every withdrawal to the IRS. And finally, remember this doesn't have to be an all or nothing decision. Some people keep enough in their 401s to cover the years until they hit 59 and a half and roll the rest to an IRA where they have more flexibility. That way you protect your access and still improve how the rest of your money is managed. The point is, don't just assume rolling everything to an IRA is the right move. Run the numbers, look at your real income needs, and make a decision that fits your situation. And hey, maybe you weren't planning to circle your 55th birthday on the calendar, but you should, because it's one worth remembering. The IRS is giving you the perfect birthday gift. Who'd have thought? I'm Keith Demetriades. If this video helped you learn something new about your 401k, make sure you hit subscribe and share it with another friend in their 50s, because chances are their HR department hasn't told them either. This is real life, and we all need to get the most out of our money. Real wealth starts with real life. Don't just plan the numbers, plan the life.